Díomh agus iniu, be me dultrí an don me ghrá-sa idir lúibíní le nuaile ní gáil. Now the notes geoisibh on nasc híos an sin agus is féidir live the notia all on Latbog YouTube on the YouTube page. To the noti seo díortha lucht na háteiste agus noti Ardleibhéal atá I guess in their higher level notes come. So ein rud eicinsibh ag gló dubh, anything you see in bold, just cín sé sin gwyil on quote in úsod ag gwyn freisin. So anything in bold is just basically for the quote. So Tomar T chun dultrí an don libse agus míú a horty. I'm going to explain Codis leis an don in Merle agus Codis leis an don in Welsh. So explain what the poem is in Irish, and as well as that we'll explain what the poem is also in English too. So me ghrá-sa idir lúibíní. Now Keating on Teddle, the title in English means my love in brackets. So you notice the poet uses brackets throughout the poem to express the love she has for her lover as well. So Tusin an don mar sin, so Níl me ghrá-sa mar bhloch na nairní a bhín in nardín nó chrán bit. So that just basically means my love is not like the blackthorn blossom that grows in gardens or on a tree at all. And then the second verse, on der verse ta anna, is má tá ein ghail aige le nóiní is as a clúsfa a osfi siad nor a bheidh sé ocht drig sias. So, and if he's anything to do with daisies, they will grow out of his ears when he's 8 feet under. In other words, when he's dead. On 3 verse tá it says ní ein glasha cheolver iad a chuúile tá ro chongrach da chéile an géad dul sias. So no harmonizing green his eyes or no musical stream his eyes. They're too close together to begin with. Agus an sin on Cahru verse tá is muslim a siade tá ribi a grúga mar van go Shakespeare in a wire delgany. Now Codis sin. And if silk is smooth, the hairs on his head are like Shakespeare's dark lady are thorny wires. Okay, agus an verse there. So we can see in that poem the first 3 verses or first 4 verses she does use elements of nature, but she's continuously slagging and mocking her lover throughout the poem. But we see what's really important, despite that we know through the elements of nature that the poet actually uses the poem to describe her lover. We know that he's actually ugly. He's actually not good looking. His hair, bit of himself, is all over the place. His eyes are too close together and so on. But we know from the last verse that the looks for a person aren't actually important. It's the personality that really counts at the end of the day, because she says ach is cuma sin tugann sé dom ula. She says I don't mind tugann sé dom ula, he gives me apples. It's nor bhín sé in nach humour cuera finuna, and when he's in a good humour he gives me grapes. Now what is the story with the grapes and the apples? Basically it shows that her lover, despite him not being the best looking person in the world, he still takes good care and looks after her and gives her the necessities of life. So sin an don be me dul tríd on Cooper Road libse, be me dul tríd on just cúra on ille, agus an sin be me dul tríd héime on don. The theme is basically on grand, the humour, or on ear, the satire, or on do grand, the dark humour that's used in the poem. Agus an sin be me ag feignar céim fog with the lúibíní cótáilteach, why the brackets are so important. Agus comot the sin be me feignar even on down. On don, the images of the poem pre-vohu con on don, technically on don, agus sin aigen there. So just come cúra bioga horta you should hail agus hater on illa. So rugu nula ní gáil, she was born Harlar abroad is in Lancashire, in Lancashire, Sosna in England. Sabine Nide Quaigado in the year 1952. Dil she go Heron, she returned to Ireland, nor she Cuig Blin Dish when she was 5 years old. Viconi Urhi, she lived Lena Hantin with her auntie a Corca Gwivna, a Conte Kiri in Kerry, August down she a quid Guelga, she learned her Irish Savoyishin in that town. Vishi in a Coney in Tipperary called Ma, she lived in Tipperary as well. First she acquit Educus, a school Chonaha in Limnock, she got her education in a boarding school in Limerick. Kachi Treivsha ag Muna, she spent a period Treivsha ag Muna teaching. Trait a chéime bhúntracht a bhaintach after getting her teaching degree ag Gláis na Hallscoile Corky in UCC. Rinne she studied an Welga. She studied Irish, agus Merle and English. Agus ceapú mar Olav filiachta I Savlín gá vile is a hain. Now, any ceap, I mean, she was appointed as a professor of filiacht of poetry, Savlín in the year gá vile is a hain. So, Clú agus Kyle Urki, she's well known. Mar ceann na fili as one of the poets is the best poet Satire show in this country. Agus bhú she neart dúisna, she won lots of prizes dúisna dá chuid filiachta for her poetry haar na blinta over the years. Ta on Space Gajoki, she has a huge interest. Ta on Space Gajoki, a cursi Bailidish in folklore stories, agus na Shanscales and in the old stories as well. Vi Simiki St. Iliacht, she had an interest in poetry o ish og from an early age. Agus Balvog Ida Chuman Fili Oga, she was a member of the Young Poets Society, Chuman Fili Oga, Derb Anam INNTI. Agus Isbal de Aistana she's a member of the Aistana as well. Ta Ahantis Urhi, she's got his recognition or she's known mar illa náisiúnta as a national poet, agus illa idir náisiúnta and as an international poet. Ta Riint say her Fuilshiki, she's got several works published, Fuilshike. In Mas na Lewer, amongst the books atá scríbhí that she has written, an dalag dráin Savlín nídig octo hain, far Suhan de Shoch nídig octo chahar, Pharaoh's daughter Savlín nídig nócha, agus Cad Agnes Savlín nídig nócha ní. Tá a chuid dánta her poems, tá chuid dánta later are read agus astratha and translated, good shankaha agsúla to different languages fud on down around the world. So in this picture, if faken heima on down, agus is a tema on down, shut not on grand the humour, agus on ear the satire. So Dane on Philip Irach then Kate's goes. The poet makes a great effort. Gran on down occur anew. Any kernels to express or to show the humour gran of this poem on down show. Is rud éfachtak úsad na hiras. The use of the satire is very éfachtak, effective, so Don show fresh in this poem as well. Lannan on fila ag moslu agra. The poet continues to ag moslu to insult her love. Ag dain she curses mogu Canahan. And she describes in a mockery way mogul his Canahan, where Canahan means his features. So Tainan Villa har four urnta, sometimes she goes over the top, ag maga alana, this slagging her lover, ach curran on avel agus an dugran lesh on tema. But the exaggeration and the dark humour, any cur let means adds to the theme. It's lair o hustera, it's clear from the start to the end. Will on Philip machanta fuina gra, she's honest about her love. Tugter fuidar, we notice, not will treya physicula intaka ega. We know that he doesn't have great physical traits. Agus ní dinna dahu no furfa and he's not good looking or perfect, and nuas er shin on top of that. Ní hugan on fila Eva glocha dalanan. She doesn't give a pretty or nice image glocha of her lover chorbe at all. On Vollert atá igest, it's completely the opposite. Ach egan on Canaan, but at the same time current she more, it adds greatly to the grand, the humour, agus ear on don the satire in the poem. Ta is egan sale, everybody knows. Gul on Kershi is the description of his face, his suya, his eyes, agus da quig gruga and his hair. Is grana, it's ugly, but at the same time it's quite grand, it's quite funny fod. So how do we know it's his eyes, his face and his hair is ugly? He says, Ní hain glasha kilver eid a chulia. His eyes aren't really musical or beautiful at all. Agus tá ribby a gruga, and his hair is pretty much a knot, it's all over the place, in a wire delgany, like almost like the barbed wire. So fighter lergos, we get an insight. Knock dodgy mulla da chwid dahulucht. So we get an insight, lergos, that she doesn't give praise, mulla, for his beauty, few, even, ag tus undone, even at the start of the poem. Tussin on fila nota jultak. The poet starts on a negative note. She says, Neil magrasa marvla nenarni. My love is not like, pretty much like a flower. or blackthorn that grows. Ní picture alianta é ar bit. It's not an artistic picture at all. Tigtig will unfill a Jane of Kiap Maga to the Shandon to Gra. We know that the poet is making any Kiap Maga means making fun of the old love poems. Because the old love poems, everything was related to, the lover was related to nature being so beautiful. This poem, Nula Nigona, Tangy in Ig the Shandon to Gra. She is a Maga, she's slagging the old love poems. So Barud Common to Eden the Harney. The blackthorns were, or the flowers even, were Barud Common to eat. It was a common thing in the Shandon to Gra in the old love poems. Og Danon unfille era erna Dante Tradishunta. But the poet is satirizing the Shandon to Tradishunta, the old traditional poems. Ba Himbel a on blah. The flower was a symbol, the oilacht on dinner for the beauty of a person. Agus queru bain chréithe physicula on dinner sna Shandon to Tradishunta. An emphasis was put on the physical traits of a person sna Shandon to Tradishunta in the old traditional poems. Dana on Philip Hershey's grandmother Lalan, she describes in a funny way her lover. Agus Tashi tin Turshak, she's sick and tired dina Shanfili of the old poets, own shock to each day from the 17th century, mar bling to him because years ago, Rinishi Kershi's Taranchak Agus me radio Lalan, they made a description that was attractive, but it was also me radio, it was unrealistic of their lovers. So when she Sar Usai Oskneha, they used to use Sar Usai, great use of Gneha Ondura, aspects of nature, concurshis a yin of Erlanan to describe their lovers. Dana Nigonal on Valar Sedan shot. So Nigonal, she does the on Valar, does the opposite Sedan shot in this poem. Usanchi Gneha on Nader, she does use aspects of nature, kun maga or kun mugu maga ayam to make fun of Dagra, her love. Tan Dansha Granver, it's funny, agus Sharvasach, it's sarcastic ervalak awan in one way, mar ni ein wint eg lanan on ella, because the poet's lover has no wint. Any VHAINT or BAINT means connection, so he's no connection, let nonini with the daisies. It's a untain or awan a ossi blochana. The only time that the flowers grow is out osa clusa, out his ears, is nur a vegshe mar, is when he's going to be dead. August Kerh Fuin Tolov and basically buried under the ground. And what line shows that he's buried or that he'd be dead, nur veg she oct drig she's when he's 8 feet under. So is ear avatach a show, it is an effective satire. Erna Shandon to Gra on the old love poems where taught on Don should differ because this poem is different. A gumproid in comparison le ein gna don elet in comparison to any other normal poem. Ni don gra nosfer conventional. It's not your typical conventional love poem. Marta slee egen fille because the poet has a way, slee SLI has a way to era ayam to satirize the Shandon to Gra, to satirize the old love poems. Don Kuvatok a Tagesh, it's a powerful poem. Affector Adrium agus Gran on Don fresh. But we see the lightheartedness and the humour of the poem as well. Margiel not will unfill eg muiv Frina Gra because the poet is not boasting eg muiv about her love. Quern on Irnia Lum, this direct truth or the bare or the honest truth on Irnia Lum adds to it adds to the grand the humour on dawn of the poem Koma as well. Usadden on Philip Grand, the poet uses humour, conveying a current to put emphasis on co-vastagu for this the respect that they have dachela for each other. Ni mish lesh and Philip, the poet doesn't mind. Ni mish lesh. So if you say ni mish lo means I don't mind. Ni mish lesh on Philip, the poet doesn't mind. Go look to August lagi air. The poet doesn't mind if he has faults or weaknesses. So Tastin unvilla chapter hobbitach a chor os chor on lehor sedan show. The poet wants to any chorus chord means to present or to shows a chapter hobbit an important message to the reader sedan show in this poem. But what Leshan Philip, the poet wants to Ruddy atop niece rigs needs to say a curtain. Any curtain means to express. So what does the poet want to do? He wants to express. But what Leshan Philip, the poet wants to express the ruddy atop niece rigs the things ruddy that are more essential in life. So he wants to show or express to us the things that are more níos more essential in life. Mar sin, therefore, Don Freagraí Samplacha. It's her complete true love poem. Cé go bhfuil she mosach, even though she is insulting. So Iswin, we know with a quid grug, we know that his hair is in a frashach, is in a complete mess. Agus not will she pursue Lashida, and that he's no kind of relation to, or he's not like silk. Current on Curtius le Grand undone. The current on Curtius, this description adds to the humour of the poem. Aishin Rocha, that said, Kegwil on Curtius fiukfer. So even though this description is ferocious, in unit gnehe physical alana avola, instead of praising the gnehe physical on alana, instead of praising the physical aspects of our lover, dear on Phila Lynn, the poet says to us, will cree more larger ege. The poet says he's got this big, strong heart. Is federlesh on Phila, person talk on is farlesh on Phila, person talked on dinner, shockus dochulacht on dinner. The poet prefers the personality of a person rather than the actual dochulacht, the good looks of a person. So Kegwil Ahulia Rogar Dochela, even though his eyes are too close to each other, and we know this where it says Tal Ro Convert Dochela, Inorira really is commishin. She doesn't mind. Martugan on Phila Kurum August Ara Wat Day, because the poet takes good kurum, it means takes good care, August Ara Wat Day, and takes good care and looks after. Alright, but they're basically the same thing. Kurum August Ara, they take good care, he takes good care of her. Brunnen Sheikh Ula Urhi, he gives her apples. And how do we know? Where it says Tugan Sheikh Ula. August Nur Aveen Eve Water. Now the word Eve Water means when he's in a good mood or when he's in a good humour. We know Gobrunnen Sheikh Quer Fanuna Urhi, he gives her grapes. Shasan Turhi Andan Sho Dorikness August Sunnis Until. These fruits, they stand for Shasan, for the necessities and the happiness of life. Kegwil on Kershis Dalan Granver, even though the description of her lover is funny, is fading on Freagraí Samplacha. We can see the true love between them. Tashi on Kianu Erkale, they're very fond of each other. August Tugan Agra Takyakti, and her lover gives her support. Takyakt. Fector Grand Treat and Dawn, we see humour throughout the poem. Ina Omnot in its entirety. August on Philip Lawn and winning, and the poet is full of confidence, expocha osagra, teasing her lover, och egan on Cana, but at the same time, fekmij doriricht on illa. We see the seriousness of the poet, Koma, as well, because why? Laryngy, she shows, despite her slagging her lover, Laryngy, she shows flahulacht, knaltus, agus eilacht in veinach, alanan is sli himply granver. So she shows his flahulacht, his generosity, his knaltus, his kindness, his eilacht, his beauty, his eilacht in veinach, his internal beauty, is sli himply in a simple, sli himply granver in a simple, funny way. Fod is a tashi, while she is. Any fod is a talk means while she's ag era nishan dan to gra, while she's satirizing the old love poems. So shin on tame on dan. So effect which we see will on Philip, the poet is ag era, no it brings us as a grand is using humour, concursius a yen of air fair. Okay, so in this I suppose which of swing if or which of a cap of cane fall why will on Phyllis and Don should go higher ag buint us out as na lúibíní. Why is the poet in this poem using the brackets? Well, we'll have a look at this the next answer. So count the question. One of the questions gur féidirló cur or shit na cane fall go will na lúibíní sa Don show cove tofta shin. Why are those brackets so important? So feckmid in this tábhacht na lúibíní agus úsá na lúibíní agus sin an freagra eile atá híos an sin freisin. So buine an fila ús as na lúibíní, the poet uses the brackets Sadan shot in this poem go hateful effectively agus tá role reads an they have a central role Sadan shot in this poem. Tá is when we know gur don differently, it's a different poem mar geall na lúibíní because of the brackets. Ach táid fiosrach, we're quite nosy. Or we want to find out Eganon Cana at the same time. Cain fall. Why gur usad she eats? Why she used them? So Don Nav Gnahak a Ta'on, so it's an unusual poem. Octon Tedal Arun. The title is appropriate to over on Don to the subject of the poem as well. Curna lúibíní on Leihor ag swinov. The brackets make the reader think. Not with a gra dahu that her her lover is not Dohu, he's not good looking, cur or bit at all. Irony Leshan Philip, the poet succeeds, Agum agus Gran Undon Alero. The poet succeeds, any Alero means to show or illustrate. So she succeeds in illustrating the Agum, the lightheartedness, on the agus on Gran and the humour. Treat Usod through the use of the lúibíní of the brackets. Tatnin Usod the lúibíní gomorn. I really like the use of the brackets. Marlarian on Philip, the poet shows Shafoid on Gra, the nonsense that's got to do with love, a harding to law Tanya that happens even to this day. Trí úsáid na lúibíní through the use of the brackets, tá is egan léhor, the reader knows, knockwood alanon furfa, that her lover is not perfect in ainqui in any sort of way. Tá an Philip, the poet is ag ira jarki na shandon to gra. The poet is satirizing the outlook, the view, the jarka of the shandon to gra of the old love poems. Tá an Philip Uskelta, the poet is open, riv on Fernia to the truth, riv on Fernia, gwil looks ega that he has faults. Lena Kershey is off facial with his awful, or I suppose, or exaggerated description that she has a key dough that she has for him. How do you know it's quite over the top, it's exaggerated? Because she says Toribia Gruga is hers and not Marg van Go Shakespeare, like the woman that was used in the Dark Lady in Shakespeare, because that, per anyone who's related to the Dark Lady, was seen as an ugly person. So Fector on Avel, we see the exaggeration on Avel, Usad on Phil that the poet uses, Sna lúibíní in the brackets, Fod is a Vichy, while she was ag ira, Kuma is a cool on dinner, while she was satirizing the physical Kuma, the physical appearance. The word C-U-M-A, Chuma, is word for appearance. While she's slagging the physical appearance of the person, a vil heimshu, which you could find in the Shandon to Gra in the old love poems. So just that line or one Ella. So Fector and Avel, we see the exaggeration. Usad and the poet uses Sna lúibíní in the brackets while she's ag ira, while she's satirizing the Chuma physical and then the physical appearance of a person, which the physical appearance was seen in the Shandon Square in the old love poems. Dare on Phil, the poet says, Knock Wilshe Doku, he's not good looking, no lodger, he's not strong, Kosula, Kron or bit, he's not as strong like a tree at all. Tarly on Quidis mode and Vaga idir na lúibíní. So most of the actual slagging or the mockery happens within the brackets. Loreen on Philip Railtuck on Teal, the poet shows the reality of life. Sakhay tree versa. In the first three verses, go hoireha ag crochu eva doquid me doquilacta tree the lúibíní. Especially go hoire ag crochu, creating an eva, an image of his me doquilacta, of his ugliness, I suppose you can say. Tree the lúibíní, through the brackets, agus na blochana, and the flowers ag fos osa clusa, growing out of his ears, the flowers growing out of his ears. Nor a veg she octrug she is when he's 8 feet under. Musting on Philip Alanon, the poet slags her lover, idir na lúibíní, between the brackets, a reach again, module lena quid sulia, when she's talking about his sulia. She says, Taro con rock dochela, they're too close to each other, Aaron K. she is first of all. Och achrin she humour egandera. She actually changes the humour in the end. August tussin she ag mulla at first and tupta. She starts to praise or compliment his personality. So we know in the first few verses that she is continuously slagging throughout the poem, but achrin gawkward, everything changes ag dera egan versa dernach at the last verse. So Feckman's tree the lúibíní, we see through the brackets, na ruddy is tabachti sa sale, the most important things in life. And that is machantacht, honesty, agus canaltus, and kindness. So what line shows the honesty and kindness? The poet says, Tugan she dum ula, he gives me apples, is narvinshe in ya humour, when he's in good humour, quer the grapes. So Kainok will grubik nasulia for ege, even though his hair or his eyes aren't perfect. Querenchi a flahulakt as a chanastacht St. Arv, she takes into account, any curse in Arvins takes into account, so she takes into account his flahulakt, his generosity, and his canastocht, his kindness. Tugan on Philip Eva Aureliak da Gradun, the poet gives us a realistic image of her love to us, her lover to us, tree the lúibíní, through the brackets. A currency in Uldun, the brackets, any currency means they convey or they say to us, or they're telling us, will Nigunal, that Nidon, the poet, that she's in raw, she's simply in love, le gná fear with an ordinary man. Larry on Fila, trí úsod the lúibíní. The poet speaks through the use of the brackets, nach will ein God, that there's no need. So Larry on Fila, the poet talks to us through the use of the brackets, nach will ein God, there's no need a vet darir to be serious. Freagraí about love, maar earned because sometimes teppen on raw, because sometimes love can fail. So tugging the lúibíní desh in it, the brackets, the lúibíní, they give a desh. The word desh means an opportunity to the poet. Ghrá-sa eleros. The brackets give an opportunity to the poet to any leros to show or to illustrate the ghrá-sa, the love she has for her lover. Darnoi, of course, tá the lúibíní éifeach. The brackets are effective, maar inshin she doen, because they tell us not will alan on furfa that her lover is not furfa, he's not perfect. August tain on fila iguine muintnikas on gra. And that's really important, because here in this poem, the poet tain she iguine, she goes against muintnikish on gra. She goes against the whole sentimentality, muintnikish of love. Tá gran lebra, we see humour, it dedal on don in the title of the poem, August margial úsod the lúibíní, and because of the use of brackets, tigter, we know, will gran mogul, that there is humour or mockery humour, fit your future everywhere, Sedan shot in this poem. So Shin does on tame August on úsod the lúibíní, and this may make vacant even on don. August Turation by make fake mogul con don fresh. So even so it's on yard even le feckle to don shot. There are so many images to be seen in this poem. Talking on Philip even Jutaka do the poet in all fairness she does give us even Jutaka negative images. Os argor to us. Le car Togarty on Dudra with the help of Togarty references to nature. Usadden on Philip Gneha on Nodder. The poet uses aspects of nature kun alanan a china to criticize. China is to criticize her lanan, where lanan we know is lover. How do we know she criticizes through nature? She says, Neil McGrossa Marvla Nanarni, my love is not like a flower. So meaning on Philadoon, the poet explains to us meaning on Philadoon, treat the heave on it through the images, not will any cuslocks, that there's no similarity. Well, he's no similarity, le ilocht on Dura with the beauty of nature, because he says Neil. That's the first word, Neil McGrossa. Fector on Phila Egg era, we see the poet satirizing on gra romansu, the romantic love. Ni Lerian on Phila ain't Eva Voltach Dogra. She doesn't give any sort of complimentary image. Eva Voltach Dogra to her lover, her bit at all. Good G there on dot until the end of the poem. So Tashi Ashak Valaka 1, it's strange in one way, not quern on Phila Alanan a gunpride, lesh Gnehe is desha agus is far to do it. So it's strange in one way that the poet doesn't compare her lover, her Lanan, to Gnehe is desha, to the nicest aspects and is far the best aspects, den dura of nature. Buinan on Phila used as gran. The poet uses humour, agus sharvos and sarcasm, con Eva agra and yartu to strengthen the image that she has for her lover, where she says Ahulia Taro Kongra Dakela, his eyes are too close to each other first of all. So even though she's criticizing them, she does it in a funny way, and we see this through the image. So fighter Lergos Sedan, so we get an image or an insight Lergos into this poem, and size Eva a Huganchi Dohula Alanan. So we get an insight into this poem, into the type of image that she gives to the Suya and Lanan, her lover's eyes. Called Mot Shin, as well as that, Toter Eva Granverdun, we're given a funny image, the Gruig Agra of her lover's hair as well. He says Tauribi Agruig, the knots in his hair, like Marvan Go Shakespeare. Is Rud Equotach A, it's effective on Kershie's Yen, she is effective the description she does, Alanan of her lover, Marlene Ain Kovar her own, there's no sign. There's no sign or really any evidence Kovarha of his dochulok, of his good looks. Tugging on Philip Eva Grumach, the poet gives us an image that's Grumach, depressing, August Demach and disappointing. August A Curha Sorel, on what he's going to be basically any Curha Sorel means buried, and she says Norveg Shake Oak Tree, she is when he's 8 feet under. Current even deisnacha a ghrá le éfacht an dan. These disgusting or horrible images of her lover, it adds to the éfacht an dan, the effect of the poem. Ach lerín an fille, the poet shows on Rud is Tavalty to say that he shows what's the most important thing in life. Kainach with Ig Maltak, even though his face is not enticing. Maltak. Don't get mixed between Multak. Multak means complimentary, Maltak means enticing. It's Rud is really not person talks on den. The most important thing is the personality of a person. Agus Mullenshi al Liacht, and she praises his Liacht, L-A-I-F-O-C-H-T, which is his kindness. Tashishin Lebra, that is seen through Eva Alanan, through the image of her lover, subversive Dirnock in the last verse, Lechusat and Maffer, with the use of the metaphor. Tuganche Dub Ula, he gives me apples, is Nervinja in humour, when he's a good humour, Quera Fanuna. So Tugan of Philip Eva doing da Flocholux, the poet gives us an image of his generosity, August da Quid Takiata and his support. Ni Lerin on Philip. The poet doesn't show gná even at igbuins language. She doesn't show the typical or the normal images connected to love. Octane the hivana hugging on Philip doing go more evine erlehor. But the images so neither on Philip gná even at igbuins language. The poet doesn't show yes the gná even the ordinary or the normal images connected to love. Octane the hivna a hugging on Philip, the images in which the poet gives us, they tend to go more evine. They have a huge, any evine means they have a huge influence. So tend to go more evine, tend hivna a hugging on Philip doing the images that the poet gives us, they have a huge impact or influence, any evinus impact or influence, air on later to the reader. Tana hivna intak eifutak. The images are really effective. Intak, and use intak to say like very. Intak what very good. Intak brownach very sad. So Tana hivna intak eifutak. The images are really effective. So don't. So in this poem, maar ni glocken on filla. The poet doesn't accept la eva ideal. She doesn't accept the idealistic image or the romantic image on ghrá of love. Irene Lesh on Villa, the poet succeeds in era ayenav, in satirizing era ayenav, erna shandon to gra in the old love poems, tri usod na nivna sedansho, through the use of the images in this poem. So on Tukupa Road le creek no on shin, bemjig brackno pre-vocal conandon, August on shin, just a piece of people creek the teching on don, August bemjig dainta in the shin. So pre-vocal conandon. So to range the vocal con, there's a range of feelings le bra to fel sedansho in this poem. Ni fader le aindin a hena gur don graver a. So nobody can deny that it obviously it is a love poem. Le mascon with a mixture de vaga with mockery, August de grand and humour. Kynin on filla on Jarka Tradishunta. The poet criticizes the Jarka Tradishunta, the traditional outlook or view de gra of love. August Tunji Eva Railiach da Lana, and she gives a realistic image, an Eva Railiach of her lover, where she says Neil McGrath Marvlot now. So straight away she's giving this, she's not saying yeah he's actually kind of good looking, she's saying straight away Neil McGrath Marvlot now, he's absolutely horrible or rotten. Larry on Phil on Gra Lodge though, she still shows any Larryness to show. So the poet shows on Gra Lodge the strong love that she has K Gunyan she is Gran Air, even though she describes him in an ugly way, where his Ahulia, for example, or Tavro Hongrot are too close to each other. Inchi on Philip Dune, the poet tells us will nismo egbuint le gra. There's more, any egbuint means connected to, so there's more connected to love, na huma physical, no corp furfa on dinner. There's more to love than just the physical appearance or the corp furfa, the perfect body of a person. Quern on Eva romantic false than gra is shocker. So the false romantic image of love kind of has an impact on her. She doesn't like it. It annoys her. Current chase shocker. If you say current chase shocker, it annoys me. So current, that whole thing, current chase shocker. The whole Eva romantic false, the false romantic image, it annoys her. Lerine on Philip Dune, the poet shows us Lerine on Philip Dune on gra, she shows the love that taught Eki that she has Dal Lanon for her lover. K Knockwood, even though he's no Gwaelega, he's no relation to it, or he's not related to Nonini, or he's no connection to Nonini, to Daisies. Meaning on Philadun, the poet shows Gwilche Tishnok, he's understanding, he's canalta, he's kind, and he's grover, he's also loving. Is ma an bailach é. It's a great way gur féidir leis an fille a cuid mothúcháin an nocta. It's great in which, so is not an bailach é, it's great in which the poet is féidir leis can, so it's great in which the poet can, any mothúcháin an nocta, any nocta is to express or to reveal her feelings, gumwinínach, confidently. It's common leis an fille. The poet doesn't care, not will Kyler, that he's not known for his scathe. Now, scathe is always saying for his eyelocks, his beauty. Because we know Tá Ribia Grúga, there's knots in his hair, like the Shakespeare woman, Mar Van Gogh Shakespeare. Mar tugann sé sonas na batha, because he gives us the happiness of life agus cúnamtí, he gives her a care ag deire an lei. So it's common leis an fille, the poet doesn't care, it's common leis an fille, not will Kyle air as a scathe. So the poet doesn't care, as I said, if he's not famous for his beauty, because why? Because tugann sé sonas na batha, he gives her the happiness of life agus cúnamh, he gives her care ag deire an lei at the end of the day. Tugging on later an fearne, the reader I suppose comes to terms with the truth. So tugging on later an fearne, the poet comes to terms with the truth. Will grá larger lebra étar, that there's strong love to be noticed. Lebra étarhu, the word étar means between them. How do we know there's strong love between them? Because, and that's the main feeling of the poem, is pretty much grá. But how do we know that this feeling is conveyed? Because she says, tugann sé dom ula, he gives me apples, is nor vín sé neachhumour, when he's in good humour, queer fanuna. Agus dain she navard, she ignores, dain she navard, chod a ceapan an pobl fuhu. She doesn't care what the public think about them. Tá a gadrú níos tábhachtí, their relationship, a gadrú is níos tábhachtí, is more important, haar ein ní eile than anything else. Agus ní einrúd níos fearr, there's nothing better, is súlia an ille in the eyes of the poet, not ara ein she ui sa don air. So there's nothing better in the eyes of the poet than the care that she gets from him, sa don air, so in this satirical poem. Just an rud Derek agus sin Thomas Dainta, Bemsy Fagan, there's Cúpa technique on Don Freshen. So again, the Sir verse, Cosby Shane, just remember there's a flow to it. It's Stoker and Tom Sir verse here, the free verse. What does that mean? Just landing on Philip Aroy a nocta a quid bohocon. She's letting her feelings out with little or less punctuation. So is he in Sir verse on Vadrog atá sa Don Shaw. So it's the free verse is the meter that is in this poem. Comot le shin as well as that. Neil lean the lynch mar on gaina. The number of lines aren't the same. Mar shin, therefore, date for a raw. You could say will she randomach, that they're random. Mar ein leis na shully along with the syllables. Usod an fila frittle simply gonta. The poet uses simple, precise language. Frittle simply gonta. The word gonta meaning precise. A current le, any current means adds to. A current leg tame agus rhythm on don. That adds to the obviously adds to the theme and the rhythm of the poem. Ach dain she taggart the ocle on a shandon to gra, but she also makes references to words from the shandon to gra from the old love poems. Bloch na Narni. So the words that Arnie, Bloch na Narni, that flower was always used in the old love poems, the blackthorn flower. Agus Kinsha, and obviously she makes references to Noni, the daisies. Torim le tort fuidera. There is rhyme to be noticed, Sadon Irish in this particular poem. Fector ream idir na fuckle. We see rhyme between the words arni and nonini. And newest shin on top of that. Ta sample ellen den ream. There's another example of rhyme le feckle to be seen idir na fuckle between the words hulia and kelia. So usata ream idir na fuckle gruiga agus delgana freshen. So tá cúpla samplers, a few examples den reams sa don sin freshen. So ní úsádan an fila an go réalta sa don seo office. The poet doesn't use ní úsádan an fila alliteration. There's no real examples of alliteration sa don seo in this poem. Ní like sample a one den Elena Atride. There's only one example of alliteration in Elena Atride in the 13th line, where it says Muslim a Sheda. Fuiera, finally, ta sampla a one den saul. There's one example of a simile, atá in úsáid ag villa, in which the poet uses, and the word simile, meaning like or as, she says, mar vla na narni, and that's the example, where the ending, mar, I know mar can be because, but you can use mar, the word next word takes a H, it can mean like or as. So shin a gum úsag. So I'm going to talk to you now an gran agus an idir the Satire a úsátar ón bhuilis don seo freisin. Agus tá is gon céad go bhfuil sé grana, even though he's ugly, ag deire an lei at the end day is cuma leis an bhfuil. The poet doesn't care, mar taken she will a person talk haar bar, his personality is excellent. Agus sin an rud is tábhachtí, that's the most important thing, is súile an ile in the eyes of the poet, mar is cuma lehi, she doesn't care must really knock will she dohu if he's not good looking, because taking she in a cree fain, because she knows in her own heart will grow agus will cree more lodger Eddie. He's got a good heart. Agus come up the shin is still go name for she run her bit, he would do anything for her, mar tugging she ara agus curbly because he takes good care of her. Agus Cunis will she shin always good, how do we know that? Because a dare on Don K grab she must like, even though she was insulting treat on dot throughout the poem, agus ní hugan she still Kirsch's dual or jarfach doing that. She doesn't give us a positive description of him. Is come lehi mar dare she a dare on Don Gurbe and run his tawati, not at first not his personality. August will she I suppose is so good will she cardul August will she canasta fresh. And so Shinny, just to remind yourselves, if you can, we'll have more resources by Nismo often win a more liquid day tomorrow hopefully. Must fail live sheen to a glock if you can sign up again there, that would be huge to the YouTube channel. Want to keep the numbers flying. Come up the shin as well as that Talachnach Facebook win. August Talachnach Instagram freshen, just Fallon Gone Stroll is the Instagram, and Fallon Gone Stroll for the Facebook. I always get them mixed up. So Fallon doing the same thing. So Fallon Gone Stroll for the Instagram, August Fallon Gone Stroll for Facebook. So if you can let people know, spread the word, that would be very interesting area. So Falcon Marshine, August Bay Don one Ella Gwyn, Nilok Don one Ella Creek do Captain, August Shine. Gwyn tell us a lot, enjoy late.